Hello, this is Chuck Miller from Oracle, and today I want to take you through an enterprise command center that customers have been very, very pleased with. It's the procurement command centers, and I think you're going to like what you see. So we'll start off with we have our safe harbor statement. And when I log on to my environment, I log on to my procurement operations. Now, this is designed to be a day in the life of a procurement person. And what happens is I'm able to see um, what's going on with my entire procurement operation. So this procurement command center consists of 6 dashboards that you see across the top of the screen. And this is intended to be a day in the life, as I indicated before. And looking at this, I'm looking at the requisitions tab, and I see I have a bunch of different refinements on here, and my key performance indicators across the top of the screen, showing me what's going on, and some charts and graphs, a line chart and a pie chart across here. In the time I've been at Oracle, people have asked me very, very often, and they said EBS is really good. This works with EBS, of course. EBS is really good, but where do I start my day? Well, the command centers, particularly the procurement command center, is a place for you to start your day. So instead of having to come in to interrogate the system, I am presented with information that allows me to have a conversation with the data, if you will. Because as I drill down into various aspects of this command center, whether it be the refinements or whether it be any of the graphs, I'm going to recalculate the data that's presented here. As I scroll down, I see the supporting data that supports the graphs and the KPIs we saw at the top of the screen. So I'm looking at requisitions in general, the header records. I can look at the lines or the distributions. One thing I want to remember to tell you is that in the enterprise command centers, we leverage the security you've already set up in EBS. So if someone doesn't have authority to get into the distributions, let's say, for any of the chart of accounts information, they would not be able to shortcut that and get into it via the enterprise command centers. So we do leverage the security that you already have in place. So going back to the top of the screen, I'm going to look at the urgent requisitions and hit the hyperlink for that. And that's going to bring up my urgent requisitions. Notice that the refinements are in the header record here, my urgent flag and requisitions that are in the pool. And requisitions in the pool are defined as the requisitions that are in some state of process. So I see my requisition count by buyer and their status, and then I can look at the same type of information in a pie chart, and then the supporting data. Now, when I drill down or scroll down to the supporting data, I can hit view. And what view does, it brings me back into EBS and it gives me access to the requisition. So I have full function capability uh, from the command center back to EBS, where I can do updates to the requisition, look at the additional information, make any changes to this requisition. So if I had authority to do this in EBS, I can navigate to EBS from the command center. And then when I've completed my operations, I can go back to the command center. Now on this screen, I've removed the refinements and I see that Jonathan Smith has a bunch of requisitions here. That's what I want to draw your attention to. So I am going to click on the graph and see Jonathan Smith's requisitions. And you see the graphs have changed where it's solely Jonathan Smith now in terms of both the pie chart and the line graph. But then I see all his different requisitions and I've resequenced those by dollar value. Simply by hitting a funnel at the top of this column, I was able to resequence these. And just like on the previous screen, I am able to drill into any of these requisitions. Going back to the top of the screen, and let's take a different scenario. The enterprise command centers are a way to start your day. So what if I was a buyer by the name of Pat Stock? I don't really care about everybody else's requisitions. I only want to see mine. So I selected my name as a filter, which I can create as a favorite. Up here, there would be a favorite save search of mine based on my name. And then I just want to see my purchase requisitions. And the point I want to illustrate here is that I can do a compound search when I look at this. So it's not exclusive to any one filter. I have a compound search. I've also gone into the graph by hitting an icon, and I can say, I want to change the graph. And the dimension I'm looking at is category, but it could be ship to location, line status, reservation status, project, or anything that you have decided to add to this graph. So once I've done that, and I've got my graphs, which have changed, and remember, based on Pat stock, and I still see a lot of stuff for Jonathan Smith. But then in the data that is supporting, I see they're all Pat stocks requisitions. And I have selected this ellipsis, and I am taking this little arrow with the thing below it because that means I want to export this. So I have said I want to export the first page. And when I hit export, this has come to Excel. So just quick way to get some information down into Excel where I may want to do some further analysis. Back to the command center with procurement operations. I'm looking at the orders screen now, and I see again my key performance indicators across the top of the screen. I have orders to watch, overdue shipments, and then I see my graphs, order amount by buyer, summed by buyer, substatus, and total times in the procurement cycle based on individual buyer. So I get a good metric there of what's going on. And as I scroll down, I highlighted the first purchase order, and I can view this or go into the order details. And when I select that, this too brings me back to EBS, where I have full capability on this purchase order. So anything that I could have done by going directly to EBS, I can do by going to EBS from the command center. I'm going to exit that screen and I want to look at another dashboard and I want to take a look at supplier analysis. So taking the supplier analysis dashboard, I see I have 35 suppliers, 6 are on the approved supplier list, and none are on hold. And then I see some graphical information here. Performance over time, last 13 to 24 months or in the last year. And then I see my suppliers listed in this bubble chart here. I am scrolling down a little bit and I'm going to select advanced network devices because they are by far and away the largest supplier based on the size of the icon there. So I've got advanced network devices. And when I scroll down further, oops, I hit the wrong button, sorry. I see advanced network devices and I see my on-time delivery rating, quality rating, and price compliance. All data that is calculated from EBS. Now, your users can give ratings to the items, the supplier, or any performance rating. These are user-defined ratings, which you could apply. We have not done that in our demonstration system, but we do have price compliance, quality, and on-time delivery rating. So looking at this, their delivery rating stinks, quality is good, and the price is good too. That's all I wanted to show you today. I appreciate the time, and I hope you enjoyed and got something out of that. Thank you very much for your time.